Hey everybody, Radamon here. Thanks for tuning in to Oxygen Not Included, episode 78. So last episode, I was working on a cargo rocket, and we are going to continue the cargo rocket build. I'm very excited to be launching cargo rockets because it is going to allow me to do a lot of really cool things. And we'll get there when we get there, but some other things. I obviously should have left in a radiant pipe for each of these beautiful ranches or whatever, because, well, I think you can all see why I need the radiant pipe. The millwood immediately skyrocketed back up to sad man temperatures, and, well, I can fix that. Just keep the radiant pipe in there. The other thing I needed to do is the sweeper that was built here, which I was like, hey, I can get away with a lead sweeper. No, I couldn't. But hey, you know what? I have now a nearly infinite supply of gold, and I just keep making more gold. I print up gold like it's, well, gold. So, yeah, without saying gold one more time, I will build a sweeper out of that unmentionable material. Some other things I wanted to do. We are going to need to bring the petroleum out to a rocket. And then what I want to do down here is actually, you know what? This whole ladder is going to change, so forget that ladder. Yes. And then I want to bridge it here like this so that there's some sort of known direction. Yes. And that will allow us to refuel. And then also, I sort of noticed that there was a spike in the temperature of coolant that I was sending through my loop here. And I think that's because the rocket outgassing was heating it up. And I don't want it to heat it up like that. So here, as you can see, my coolant, let's do 80. Will start flowing again. But I'm going to be really careful as to not cook anything. Other things that I noticed, my steel is definitely bottlenecked by my lime. We do have a lot of fossil, but I'm going to raise the rock crusher up to 8. And it also might not be a terrible idea. Where we storing... Okay, we have 13 tons of fossils in here. So I'm going to unforever, if that's a word that I can use, unforever everything else that we're crushing in here. And just focus on fossil to lime. Yeah. Alright, quit making ceramic. I'm good with that amount of ceramic. So there we go. Now we have one more cargo bay. This old plumbing system is going to be removed in lieu of a new one. Here comes the coolant. I'll leave in the old pipe for now until I have the new pipe all retooled. Some other things that I need to do. I'm going to have ladders instead of gantries because it's just cheaper. I think ladders will work. I haven't actually double checked, but should be fine. Instead of gantries for pulling fuel out or taking fuel, you know, whatever. And then I want to move my whole ladder system over. Just one nudge here, so that I can fit gantries in more elegantly. All right, we'll put in the other cargo bay and put in a bridge here. Done. And then this is going to require some attention. Okay, have our coolant running. That's good. Other things I wanted to check into. So, oh, come on, this is 9. How is this not made yet? All right, so the ventilation, radiant gas pipes, let's make this out of a thermally reactive wolframite. Why isn't it letting me paint it? Oh, because it's already there, and it was invisible. Cool. Well, that doesn't make me seem crazy or anything. And then, ventilation, thermally reactive wolframite. Connect somewhere in the middle. And this should help cool down the millwood. I want to make sure that I did not release oxygen where oxygen does not belong. No, apparently I did not. Good. Okay, so here's a wolframite. Yeah, it's back to working. And then this over here is going to be wolframite soon. Okay, new printables. Ah, perfect. I was just thinking to myself, I need a Weezwar right here. And now I have one. Wonderful. Now, I did get a YouTube comment. Oh boy, I didn't write down who wrote this comment. Let me try to figure out who wrote it before I mention it. It was about basically one way to do ethanol would be to sort of have it up in space, have the ethanol refiners up in space, and let them outgas up there, and it will be fine. Oh, you know what? I think the message was on Discord. That's why I didn't write it down. Naughty me. Huh. I don't find it, but yeah, whoever wrote it, I'm sorry I'm not accrediting you. I normally do. I just forgot this time. It's nothing personal. The idea was basically I could do my refining up here in space and let the polluted water boil off and let the you know, polluted dirt outgas or whatever until it gets erased. And that's a perfectly fine solution. One that I might even employ myself. Okay, as far as plumbing goes, let's get this loop done. And we'll be refueling our rockets in no time. I'm really eager to get one of these cargo launches underway because it will actually solve a lot of issues with this base very, very, very quickly. And that will be most excellent. I suppose another thing they could do is break down the virtual planetarium, the supercomputer, and the research station, as there is really no way I'm ever going to need them again. But I kind of want to leave them up just as a reminder of how we got here. You know? Call me nostalgic or sentimental, but I don't know. There's something about that I like. I like the feel and the thought. So maybe I won't remove them because it's not really like we can't afford it. We could definitely afford it. No doubt about that. Okay, we are just about ready to change our plumbing. So let's go ahead and do insulated gas pipe here. Connecting that up. And break this down. I guess my guys don't respect the 8 here. We are just not building these conveyor rails. But we're getting pretty close to situation where we'll be able to build them. Alright, waiting for materials. Is that true, though? How could you possibly be waiting for materials? Let's... Oh, I can't get close enough. Ah. You know, Molten Forge, Glass Forge, whatever your name is. Molten Forge is something a little different. I'm gonna break you down. Ah, there we go. Now he's crushing. Gotta make that lime, man. Okay, so the conveyor rails are done up here. Awesome. Let's break this down. And add the command pod. And this is my cargo rocket. Now, I did the math, and the math said that I need 1,037 fuel. So 137 to run my little mission. So 237. Oh, actually, no. My math is just great. Nothing like looking like a brilliant mathematician adding 100 extra kilos of fuel that you don't need. Well, I caught it. I caught it. All right, there is the command capsule. This is now named the... What is this named? The SAT... what is it? XLI in Roman numerals. 41? The SAT 41. Okay. Yes, because it would be X is L is 50, X is minus 10, 40 plus 1 is... Okay. The SAT 41. Good. That makes sense. Where is my coolant? Alright, let's make sure that coolant is running so that we can refuel our thing. Below 100 C. That's fine. Get that flowing up there. And then our cargo rocket will be ready to go as soon as we add a gantry. So let's work on said gantry. And then I'll clean up some of these like random ladders and the like. Because we don't need them. In fact, let's make this the current focused priority. Just fixing up the rocket so it looks all nice. Okay. Gantry go there. Zug, I use words good. We'll stick the switch here. The wires. And then the power. And that should be all she wrote. What was the construction here? What is this? Oh, this is the gantry or something. Okay. That's fine. All right, now that the petroleum is flowing, we should have this thing fueled up. As soon as I put this as a higher priority than my storage box. So my storage bin is 8. This needs to be priority 9 to refuel. We'll get that refueled. This little ladder should continue all the way up like that. Oh, that's unreachable. Well. There. Oh, the effort. Okay, so the destroy buildings. And this old gas vent. Speaking of weird ventilation. Don't know why that's not insulated. All right, all of this becomes 8. Destination not selected. So we are going to head to grab... Oh, apparently... Well, yeah, I haven't filled it up. So that makes sense that we would not have the fuel to go anywhere. Okay, breaking down old ladders that I no longer need. And we'll set these to 8 as well. So now we have pretty much almost all of the petroleum we need. And as you can see, I'm only really siphoning half the petroleum, the left half of the coolant cycle, and not the right half, but pretty soon that won't matter anyway. So we have all of the petroleum now. Now I'm just waiting on the oxalite. Sort of curious if they can fuel it up without a gantry. I'm thinking no, but I'm not sure. I'm also going to move my cable into the ladder here. I know how seemingly pointless that might be, but just aesthetically, it must be done. All right, let's check in. Okay, perfect. The radiant gas pipes working perfectly. Bring all the mealwood down to the comfortable temperature that we wanted it. I was building extra suits. Where is my exosuit? Here it is. Oh no, that's not it. Did I not place it? I may not have even placed my exosuit forge. Did I really not? Okay. Alright, we'll stick an exosuit forge here. I need a few more exosuits for that dock over there. Okay. I am coming to the realization that, yeah, maybe I do need a gantry for the oxidizer tank. Actually, chances are I need a gantry for all these tanks. I shouldn't break. I should break the inside ones. Okay. So let's get gantries up there. New printables. Sure. Ice. Give me ice. Just make sure to sweep it so it doesn't melt everywhere in the base. Okay, I know this will look a little odd, but I broke these out of order. There. And then everything that's below this rocket probably should get swept up, because there's a lot of granite and whatnot down there. Another thing I'm going to need is a way to get to the engine more simply, like this. There we go. Perfect. All right, set 41. Get ready to be sent soon. As soon as I get my my stuff together. Okay. I have a petroleum backup. Oh, yes, I do. Oh, boy. All right. 80 Celsius is now the temperature to beat. Rocketry. Gantry. One here. One here. One here. Expensive. But I think very much required. Just a lot of my steel. And then we'll do automation signal switch door things for them. 1, 2, 3. And automation wires. 1, 2, 3. And then this becomes my new 9. Because there's no other numbers in the counting system other than 9. Okay, I broke down the... I can't... Oh, yeah, okay. I broke down the rock crusher, or the glass forge, so that I could sort of automatically put lime into the rock crusher. Kind of funny, but I really don't perceive the... I don't think I'm going to be needing... you know... Oh, we do need refined carbon. Okay. Let's do 20 of that. I don't think I'm going to be needing more glass anytime soon. And if I do, I can always rebuild it. All right, so now, missing Atlas suit. All right, let's do the quick sweep here. But it has all the fuel it needs. Then we just need to... I'll probably need to make an Atmos suit because I delivered my Atmos suit. So let's go make one. That was up here. We'll do... I want to do a copper one. So actually, the metal refinery... Crank out some copper for me, please. I have a lot of... The reason for the copper... I have a lot of copper right now. If we look at metal ore, I've got 18 tons of copper. I have a ton of iron, too, I guess. I could have made it out of iron, but I've been using the iron to make steel. Whereas the copper, the refined copper, I'm not really using for anything else, so figured I might as well make a suit out of it. I'll make 4 suits and set this to 9. It wouldn't hurt to have a little bit of a, not a sun lamp, but a little bit of light here to help with the speed, I guess. As long as I'm staring at this, might as well. Actually, it goes so fast, I don't even care. Okay, there's a copper Atmos suit. Reminds me of the ancient, like, well, not ancient, but the old style diving suits. Okay, setting that up to super high priority. And we'll get this going. The space scanner is going to detect the set. And as soon as the suit is delivered, we'll be running our first cargo mission. And then, what is this across? This is 7, I think. Yep, 7 across. Guess I could have just counted. We are going to do something similar over here. Yep. Where we are going to mine all of this up and build a second launch tube. Okay, so the Atmos suit got delivered, and here's Sine Curve. He has arrived. We are all set. We retracted the gantry, and we are just about ready to launch. Hope this gold... No, pick up the gold first. Oh, well. I'm not waiting for a little bit of gold. All right, star map. We are going to get to this metallic asteroid that has fullerene and isoresin. And Godspeed. Now, if you take a look at I'm going to flip the override switch here to allow the space scanner to space scan. This was when we didn't have a rocket built and we needed to override it closed. So the next big thing I'm going to need to build here, big project would be utility or station. Oh, no, it's actually in refinement. Excusez-moi. Molecular forge. We need to build a big old molecular forge. I'm going to build the forge right here. This forge takes a whole lot of power, which is why I have a setup. We haven't built it yet, but a setup area for more power transformers. And then another thing I was hoping to do is to chill the area a little bit more. Because the power transformers produce a lot of heat. Yeah, really everything around here is producing a lot of heat. So one of the interesting things I'm going to be able to do, though, is once I have the molecular forge up and running and I have a lot of space-age materials, I will be able to use this thermonullifier for other purposes. I will no longer require coolant. So that's cool, I think. Let's make it out of copper because I have so much copper. I don't actually have a lot of gold right now. Okay. Get this all built up. My ranches. 8, 7. That's close enough. Close enough that I don't need to keep hatching any until we, you know, until sometime in the future that we do. But right now, we don't. So, star map. Here's our mission. It's a 5-cycle mission. We are grabbing 2,000 tons of material, I think. Is that what fits into the cargo bays? I think. So, yeah, it's possible to deplete asteroids this way. I just wanted to make it clear and point out that that is, in fact, a possibility of running tons and tons and tons of missions. All right, this should aid my guys in this wall here is just to prevent heat transfer from between launch bays. It's really all it is. It's also not really centered, as I'm sure that bothers a bunch of you. I might fix it if I have downtime, but at the moment I don't really care. All right, let's go ahead and prioritize this here over everything else to try to get a second tube. I am going to have to give the ability, the skill, for my duplicates to, you know, I don't have a second astronaut right now, but I'm not all that worried about that. All right, so the suits here I've made so I can go back from copper. I'll let you finish that run of copper. Back to steel and iron. Our hydrogen in here has gotten so cold that it has deactivated the Wheezworts, but as you can see, my petroleum isn't closing in on their freeze point because of the heat dump we are doing with the radiant gas pipes. So that's good. It worked. All right, I'll print up oxalite, but I don't actually think I have any room in storage for it. Oh, no, I do. That means if I'm really quick, I can actually stash this oxalite before it outgasses. It actually isn't outgassing right now because I think it's pressurized. So that's good, but I'm sure it will outgas soon. Yeah, we didn't even pick up the 100 kilograms. We picked up less. All right, star map. Looks good. So let's check in on the molecular forge. Yep. It's actually closing in on being done. I think what I'm going to do is hook up automation here. A simple little LED-based signal switch, just so that if I want to turn off the power, that these transformers aren't just cranking heat the whole time. I think that has some potential value. And then we will bring the lead wires into the forge itself, making this a priority 8. All right, checking temperature. The natural gas is hot. This hydrogen here is pretty cold. You can see how a temp shift plate would really help, as we have very cold spots and very hot spots, and a temp shift plate would definitely help to equalize it. Or, alternatively, just putting our Wheezworts somewhere closer to the middle of the room which is not something I did. Again, sort of a nice to have, but like not all that necessary. I don't need to retool it or redesign it. If you're just designing it for the first time yourself, go do that. All right, why has this auto sweeper not been built? It's been pretty high priority for a long time, and yet nobody has done it. So as far as the ethanol refining, I did mention briefly that I was thinking about refining my lumber into ethanol. And I'm still sort of considering it. I'm still thinking about it, but I don't think, given all of the other projects that I have juggled right now, it's not something I'm going to immediately bother doing. It's not as important. The fungal farm. We do have body temperature here. What is it's too warm? Some of that too warmness is just because I don't have insulated tiles lining this like this. And I can work to build those, the insulating tiles. Now, there was the thought that I would automate a fungal farm sometime in the future. A mushroom farm, a dust cap farm. And I still might. I haven't taken that out of possibility. It's just everything currently that I have laid out is working as intended. So I don't really feel the pressure or need to immediately invest a whole big setup. And if I was going to have automated farms, I think what I would do is I would finally, and I still might end up doing this, but I would finally get a gas range, a proper gas range, and then try to have high morale food sourced for everybody, meaning, you know, managing to source a little bit of everything, managing to source, you know, lettuce and, you know, all the other sort of materials that my duplicants would want. Okay, this is a sizable amount of steel that I'm going to be able to reclaim. Quite happy about that. Star map. We are about half done with the space mission. So in the molecular forge, there are 4 space age materials that you can make. And let me go over them. So super coolant is made with gold, petroleum, and fullerene. And super coolant is a liquid that is very, very, very difficult to change the temperature of. It is slow heating. Super coolant is pretty much a requirement. You can make liquid hydrogen without super coolant, but I think it's insanely difficult to do. Then there is, and that requires fullerene. Then there's isolation. There's insulation. Insulation is using abyssalite, which we have unbelievable tons of. Abyssalite is this very hard, sort of almost perfect insulator. And you mix it with isoresin, and it's a very, very, very capable insulator, like almost perfect insulation, and very, very slow heating. So if you had something incredibly hot, like if I had isoresin before taming this volcano, adding insulation to around volcanoes, very, very, very good. Or alternatively, if you're messing with magma, I do believe, I could be wrong about this, but I do believe the insulation has a incredibly high melt point. But don't quote me on that. Double check me. In fact, I could check now. Let me go back to the molecular forge. Insulation melts it. Yeah. It does melt at very, very high temperatures. You still, so that's what, 3600 C? Let me see what magma is at. Yeah. Most of the magma is colder than that, so it would withstand magma pretty capably. So if you're messing with magma, again, insulation. Then there's viscogel. Viscogel is just isoresin and petroleum. Viscogel, as it is described, it's not clear what it does in its description, but basically it has a very high viscosity, I think is probably the way to describe it, where you can create liquid locks like this by just dripping viscogel, because viscogel won't spread to adjacent tiles. It still has the wet feet negative moodlet if you walk through it, I believe. I don't think it negates its wet feetness. And Visco Gel here has its freezing point is not the same as, it's not as low as petroleum, for instance. So Visco Gel would not be a good liquid lock for, let's say, my hydrogen barrier here, because it would probably freeze into solid Visco Gel. But it will keep for hotter temperatures. Again, not hot enough to have a liquid lock where a rocket might fire up, but pretty good in the scheme of things. Pretty good in the scheme of things. So that's Visco Gel, and then I'll go over Thermium in just a second. And Thermium is actually one of the reasons why I was prepping all that tungsten. So Thermium here has a insanely high overheat temperature of plus 900 C. The benefit of that is, you know, those robominers and sweepers that we've had to cool down? Yeah, once we have Thermium with niobium, once we have some Thermium, we don't even need to actively cool our robominers or anything up here in space. It just won't matter because that overheat temperature is hotter than the regolith could ever produce. And as a result, you know, we basically won't have to worry about overheat anymore. So Thermium is pretty exciting. And that's actually exactly why I'm building 2 cargo rockets, because niobium is not a material that I can find where fullerene is. If you take a look at all these, niobium 3% here, niobium 3% here, right? No niobium in this asteroid at all. Isoresin and niobium here, only isoresin, only isoresin, only fullerene, niobium 3% here. And, you know, once we get out this far, this is a lot of propellant and time. You also have to consider, if you want to get a lot of a certain material, your ship has to make a round trip out to whatever asteroid. So, obviously, I'm going to be hitting up this carbon asteroid because it has the highest percentage of isoresin and niobium. But that's exactly why I want 2 rockets, so I can get all 3 space-age materials. The 3 space-age materials being niobium, isoresin, and fullerene. So, with 1 rocket, I could just keep alternating destinations, but it's probably in my best interest to have 2 rockets, I'd imagine. All right, so we are partially done with the bay here. The other worry is, of course, I need to make sure that I am just still cranking out that steel for these rockets. So where is my manufactured material? Steel's only 5 tons. That might be barely enough for a rocket, but it wouldn't hurt to just keep making sure I've got all the material I need for rockets. And then additionally, raw minerals for fossils. Okay, all of the fossils that exist on the map right now is in this box. So that's good, I guess. That brings me some sort of it also sort of encourages me because I know I have a finite amount of I've hit my finite amount of fossils, so I am going to look around. The issue here is there's all this sour gas, and now I do have did I ever finish my liquid lock? Yeah, I do have a liquid lock here to prevent the sour gas from going anywhere, but I honestly don't even need that right now. But then there's other ways for sour gas to escape, so I think what would be wise for me to do is to wall this off here so sour gas can't escape out an alternative path. Because there's 2 paths down to the lava biome. There's this hole here, and actually let me zoom out. So there's clearly this hole. There's obviously this one, and those are the only 2 that I have so far. So I would be able to mine out some of the fossils that get really close to the sour gas, like this stuff here, if I got these fossils. And then another thing that I would be able to do, if the sour gas was really a problem, is I could always vent it. I could vent it to space. It would be a long, long insulated path to get there. But it might be one of these nice to-dos sometime in the distant future. If I'm worried about the sour gas buildup. Sour gas here is just it's hydrocarbon gas, high concentrations of hydrogen sulfide, a byproduct of superheated petroleum. I guess I could also cool the sour gas. And there's reasons to use sour gas. Like, there's functional benefits of sour gas. I just am not going to get into them. And as a result, I'm trying to avoid cranking out quantities of sour gas that I don't much want. But I will continue to hit up fossils. And fossils are mostly... they're mostly densely, exist down here in the oil biome. But you can find fossils elsewhere. Up closer to the, closer to the surface. Okay, space mission. We are getting pretty close to touchdown. Excited by that. And then, I guess I could start putting the petroleum engine here. And building the rocket up pretty much exactly the way the last one was. Just really not any different. So we'll have a ladder running here. Like this. All the way up the center of the rocket. I know I have a lot of ladders. Because I didn't fully plan this out in my head. Close, but not complete. And then after that, it is the solid fuel. And I might as well just build the gantry. And design it the exact same way I built the other one. And I'm going to need to run power over here too. So, the cable is right here. Oh, don't make me paint random power cables in the middle of nowhere. Come on, game. Knowing that I'm definitely going to have to send this this cable all the way up, I might as well do that now. And I've calculated this, that the rockets superheat about 9 tiles underneath their blast-off point. So I have this bridge 9 tiles down for that exact reason. So that it won't get burned up. That does not look like abyssalite to me. Oh, because it's behind stuff. That makes sense. I guess that also means a gantry here and here. Oh, here is the rocket arrival. So the cargo bays will automatically start. So we did drop an artifact that we found. There it is. Boom. Little obelisk. And then the cargo bays will automatically start using the rail systems to dump its contents. And its contents is... yeah, it's 1,000 kilograms of material. 1,000 kilograms of material in the ratio of 22% iron, 31% copper, 39% obsidian, trace amounts of fullerene, and 8% iso resin. I will start filling it up for a return mission back to the same asteroid. So niobium, I'm not going to have a source of niobium for a bit. What else was I going to do? So I was going to do, right now there is not a single bin that exists in the game, in my map, rather, that will allow rare resources. There just isn't. But as you can see, I am going to be able to make super coolant with that fullerene. And then with the iso resin, I can pick insulation or visco gel. It's up to me. But the super coolant's really what I'm after for now. But my curiosity was... Okay, it's cold. All right, cool. So let's do this the really, really, really neat way. Where... yeah. Oh boy, I could do this really, really cool, like fully automated. Why not? Why not? So if that's the case, I am going to do the drop off exactly how I mentioned. Breaking this plastic ladder down, or rather putting a plastic tile there instead. Trace this ladder all the way up, which means a conveyor chute here. It does mean considerably more conveyor rails. But I think it benefits me in the end. Because it will be like automatic delivery of material. And that's what, an 8? That's fine. That obelisk should go to my... I don't know, where's it going to go? Obelisk will go here. I have so much extra gold that I can really make this place pretty, if I so choose. Alright, and then this archaic tech. I think it's, what, a disk drive or something? That will go into my weird artifact pedestal thing over here. That's floating. Let's not do that. Alright, using a lot of that gold that I got. Alright, so this already looks all fueled up to me. It is. So let's dig out the top, and we can make a return destination. So if you take a look at the star map, and you see the current world mass, as you can see, I have carved away about a ton of it, or 2 tons of it, and then it will slowly replenish over time. But that's what I'm saying, that if you were really, really, really eager and you had a ton of rockets, you could hypothetically drain an asteroid. Especially the closer it is to your starter asteroid, the faster it would drain. Because the round trip is shorter. And that's something I would like to avoid. But I don't think just running one rocket to one spot is going to achieve that. Alright, we did make some extra suits, so I'll get them delivered. Let's go make the super coolant. And then also, I want to stick important storage bins here. So the concept here is now we have a spot for things to drop. I don't need to run rails. I'll just use gravity to drop from the conveyor chute here. So let's remove this chute. And set rails up all the way down, and then the rails will then drop items here, where then we pick them up with a, and this is sad too, delete this, all these pedestals. We'll pick it up here with a another loader, and then filter it, and if it is rare resource, see here? We will filter it and drop it to these storage bins. And then if it's not a rare resource, we will send it up to, or send it down to this auto sweeper, to this conveyor chute, where it can get stored temporarily. So basically, next to the molecular forge, we're gonna have boxes full of our rare resources that get delivered from space. I think, call me a nerd, but I think that's pretty cool. And then we'll make the forge pretty to use. So here's my iso resin that I grabbed. And then all of this pedestal stuff. I mean, there is a point to maybe have all of my, like, space artifacts all in the same spot. Just for fun. I don't know. Just for fun. I'll get around to that eventually. Okay, this is all set for another launch. Sine curve will get loaded up, and we'll get on our way. And then, as you can see, the resources available. The metallic asteroid has what resources and what my... Oh, you know, we're in the middle. Forget it. Sine curve. We're in the middle of strikes. Come back later when it is safe. And then here is the other bay that we built. And it's just about all insulated and all that jazz. I'm just going to clean up some laddering and then we'll be good. Okay, the ranches have been growing mealwood. My manufactured steel, I've been using up like crazy, but it hasn't been going down, which is good. Like, we've been replacing steel as fast as we can. And then we are making super coolant, and I'll set that to a big old 9 to get that underway. Let's check the decor. It's not maximum, but it's close to maximum. But that's why I left even more space. Boom. Petroleum being delivered. And we'll get some super coolant. So I'm most excited about super coolant and thermium. So that is the two materials I'm going to focus upon. The iso resin, I mean, iso resin's nice, don't get me wrong. It just isn't, like, going to significantly change what I've been doing already. Because the insulation's great, but I don't foresee that I'll be messing with the lava. And the visco gel is fine, except for I've been doing 2-tiered petroleum crude oil since time immemorial, and it hasn't failed me yet. So I don't see that it is urgent for me to get. It will make it a lot more convenient, but it isn't, like, life-changing like the super coolant and the thermium, you know, which are, I would say, a bit game-changing. As you can see, I definitely made this... Well, I wanted it to have a wider... I'm fine. I was going to say I made this wider than it needs to be. You can obviously have rockets a lot closer to one another for launch tubes. And I'm not even really sure that this insulated wall between them is necessary. It's just a nice touch. Let's call it that. A nice touch. All right, well, if I want a artifact museum, I will set that up. It's kind of a pointless use of the decor that I would benefit from for, you know, using these everywhere in my base, but it is sort of nice to have one giant realm of, like, space artifacts, like a museum. All right, Sine Curve, you are good to go, buddy. And here is the liquid fuel tank. As soon as that's done, pop another on there. Okay, he's in. And of course, we're heading back to the same rocket, or the same asteroid. I didn't retool this for the other asteroid. Godspeed, buddy. Okay, so that one's done. Now over here, we're going to do the cargo bays. And I have just enough, I don't have enough steel. I don't have enough steel to finish this off. So again, that is why I've been trying to streamline this rock crusher fossil setup. Because of my lack of steel. It looks like we have the materials to make more steel, though. So we just need to wait. Wait and be patient. So let's check the forge now. The molecular forge. Here we are. 300 kilograms of super coolant. It's not a terrible haul for our little space mission. And now that that's done, you know, if I could figure out exactly where the construction point is, here, let me make some insulation, I guess. I could weight plate these power transformers. I don't know where the duplicate stands, but if I figure it out, we can just weight plate it so we don't waste. Oh, well, no, we would need a motion sensor, actually. So then another thing is, we're going to have just like super coolant sitting here in liquid form because I don't have anywhere to put it. So he stands here. So the issue with the weight plate is, yeah, I think it has to, well, even a motion sensor wouldn't work. It'll just be manual. I like how he stopped. He's like, you know what? I'm hungry. Goodbye. We're done. I'm done. So the conveyor rails over here are going to have to be a little bit longer. And again, I don't have the steel for this. But it would look something like... yeah, again, I'm out of steel. But it will look something like this where we bridge it over and we have it go to the same run. So let me complete, or with whatever time I have left, set this up. So... I am going to construct 9 over here. The gold can be 7s to get the shipping done. And then what we're going to do is some solid filters. I can make these of copper. Where do I put these? So this is going to be like a conveyor rail that will filter out the materials that I want to drop here. So shipping, auto sweeper, make this of lead. I'll just make it gold. Just so it doesn't melt. And actually, I could put this a little higher. Just to maximize space. Okay, so shipping. Auto sweeper. Out of gold. Here. And then a conveyor loader. Out of gold. Here's fine. And then we were going to want a bunch of solid filters. So you know how I was making this exit pretty? I'm not anymore. But let's build those pedestals so I can put these artifacts somewhere. All right, I do believe that this is on the, like, power trunk. So at least it's easy to power on. All right, this is going to just say, you know what, whatever you find is fine. Load it up. And that is unfortunately all the time I have. So I'm going to have to, next episode, set up the sort of solid filters to bring what we want down here. But here, as you can see, the insulation. The insulation, at least, we can put back in here. Into these boxes. But the super coolant, because it's a liquid, we can't really do anything with that. I mean, I could put it into... I could, you know, pump it up out of somewhere, but I'm just going to leave it until I know where I'm going to be using it. So next episode, I will definitely be launching my thermium manufacturing rocket, the one that goes out to this carbon asteroid to get the niobium, and trying to put that thermium to good use, i.e. fixing the heat issues with this docking area up here, so that I can have more solar power generation, and I won't need to run the nullifier to cool any coolant. Any other projects here would be the sort of automation of this process here, just out of fun, and then possibly fine-tuning some of the other things I have around the base. I'll have to think up of some additional projects, I suppose. Thank you all so very much for watching. I will catch you all next episode. Farewell, everybody.